Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and time for the fact that makes your brain go. Make sure you're up to date on all the latest terminology with dating. And this one is floodlighting. Floodlighting. Kenzie thinks it's when you cry. And what was the reasoning on when you cry, Kenzie, in the date? Just cry in general?
I said if you cry on the first date, because you're letting out such like an emotional thing so early, I would think it's crying on the first date, happy or sad.
And Kay said it was crying to end up getting free cheesecake.
Naturally,
that's what you would
His
do.
is manipulative crying.
Yeah, which happens all the time out there.
Apparently.
You're both not right in this one. It had nothing to do with crying, but I guess it could lead to that somewhat. But opening up the floodgates, pouring out your heart on the first date, spilling everything about your previous relationship dramas and childhood trauma.
Oh, wow.
That is floodlighting in dating today in the first date. So the first date, you just lay it all out there.
Wow.
And they always say when you go on a first date, don't talk about your past relationship or most recent relationship. Don't do that because you'll just sound not necessarily crazy, but no one wants to hear about it in the first date. They're trying to get to know you. Instead, you're saying, yeah, well, here's what she did this day, or here's what he did. It's kind of like, ugh. I don't know if you've ever had that experience.
I like to know. Well, I would like to know how long somebody's been single, like if they've had serious relationships or not. So I am interested in that kind of stuff. I don't want to spend an hour talking about your past, but if you're like, yeah, I was with somebody 5 years ago, that was my last serious relationship, ended because of and then you move on. I like a little bit of information about what went on there.
I was curious.
Yeah, because what am I working with? What, you can't commit? What's going on?
Is there something in your head that you can remember about a first date where someone's overshared?
I went on a first date where someone was lying the whole time.
How'd you know?
Because I went to high school with them.
Oh, okay. That's different. You had some pre-knowledge.
Right. So we went on a date like more near like college. It was years later. They had asked me like 75 times. I caved in after I got cheated on. I shouldn't have caved because I should have known they didn't want to do it. I was like, maybe I'll give them a chance. And all the things they were saying that they had done and accomplished and all these things and like what they're in the middle of working on. Look, the famous music producers they're working with. I'm like, oh, come on. Like, I just had to sit there and listen to like just the spewing of like all these lies.
And that person was Justin Bieber.
Yes.
Was working with a great producer. Kenzie, that's the one, he didn't tell a lie on that one.
that's right.
Son of a bitch.
Case, what about you?
Well, floodlighting is wrong. I don't want to be right. When I go on a first date, I'm giving them a behind the music episode. They're seeing the rise, the fall, the return. They're getting my life story whether they want it or not. Because what happens when you finish a great behind the music? You go, I got to spend more time with this band. I should really give them a listen. ABC's of Life, same thing. Again, I'm giving you all the information I've got. I'm giving you everything I have on the first date. You're probably not going to get a word in, but you know what? I tell a pretty good life story.
I will say that you told me notoriously you never got second dates.
Really went on a stretch where I was only going on first dates. Not a lot of follow-ups.
But it makes the person that you're with, and now for 2 years and living with, she probably bought that behind the music theme you set out there on and said, this is the guy for me.
Buyer's remorse, but yeah, she bought it at the time.
You know.
Lifelong contract.
Buyer's remorse.
No returnsies.
I said, you are stuck.
Well, once you move in with someone, it's hard to get them out of the house.
This is what she figured out. This is what she's learned.
I always say, people are rushing to move in. I go, just think for a second what you're doing. Think.
I think if you had to ask her, she would have not done that.
It's really easy to keep dating. It's really easy to keep doing that. But once they're in your house or you're in their house, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
I'd like to interview some of those people that you said all this stuff to, and the ones that said, was it too much? Did I get too much information from Case?
Well, Brian, you said that this did happen to you on a first date. Was it you or was it the girl?
The oversharing part?
Yeah.
Well, she overshared, and this was is this the one I'm talking about? I think I told you about where she milked me for a $300 dinner.
Yes.
At
Capital Grill.
God, you guys remember better than I do. God.
Okay, you leave, Case, and I will tell the story.
I was trying to remember which steakhouse it was.
So this sucker took some girl to Capital Grill, and she milked him for everything he's got.
Now, she was
dinner.
not only an overshare, she told me she was stealing from her company and wanted me to get involved with it.
Oh, well, you need money.
She wanted to help give you some of the money back. You're so ungrateful.
Yeah,
the dinner's too expensive. She's trying to give you money. You don't want it.
You could have bought a house with that money.
Well, actually, if I'd put that in like some Bitcoin back then, because it was a while back, yes, I could have bought the Sears Tower.
That's
by
what you
this
should have
point.
done. Invested in crypto. Good idea.
Yeah, I should have, because she got in this whole scheme of how she's stealing from work 5 minutes into the date and goes, I need some help with this. Are you in? I go, no, I am not in. I wanted to leave right then, but then she ordered a martini, and then she got appetizers. Before I knew it, it was a $300 dinner.
This is the problem with you. You should have been like Jeremy Renner in The Town, a movie that I've now seen.
Oh, good.
Where all you say is, whose car are we taking? You got to be a ride or die, Brian. This woman, if she was good looking enough to have you take her to Capitol Grill, you should be able to commit a felony with her.
Also, I think it's fair. I like to commit that. I think that if somebody admits to a felony that they're currently partaking in, and you're no longer interested within the first few minutes, you could be like, I appreciate you coming out. I will buy your first drink, but I am going to leave because of the whole felony thing. And you could have bought her martini and left. The fact that you don't have, like, for lack of a better word, I don't want to say courage because it sounds mean, but you didn't have, like, the oomph to just be like, I'm going to go ahead and end what's happening here.
Well, to Case's point, I wanted to hear more on how this was going on. I wanted to hear more of everything.
And also, I've been on some dates, first dates, where 5 minutes in, I knew I'm never seeing this person again. But when you're in the restaurant sitting at the table with them, you're still holding out hope that, hey, maybe I'm going to score by the end of the night. Let's at least see where this goes. Then
You
we'll
still
call
want
it.
to sleep with them?
Yes.
Oh, my God, you guys.
How
You don't
dare
even
you
like
question that
them.
thought?
You find them obnoxious and you never want to sleep them again, but you never want to see them again, but you want to sleep with them?
Correct.
That
Yeah,
is so weird.
you can separate morals from sex easily.
But you think they're annoying.
Well, not only annoying, but a felon, as you said.
I mean, this is what I'm saying.
Which is worse.
Yeah. By the way, before I put a lid on that story, I wanted to go to Maggiano's. I didn't want to go to Capitol Grill because I knew Maggiano's would be a delicious dinner.
Family style, absolutely.
But lower priced.
But you still wanted to sleep with her. You would have slept with her that night. The annoying felon that robbed you for $300.
Calling her the annoying felon is a way to label her for life, which is pretty interesting. There you go. Floodlighting. Don't do it. Don't overshare on a first date. Just enjoy yourself. It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101.
Brian and Kenzie.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We just gave away those Wolves tickets. Don't fear. In about 3 minutes, we'll get you on the phones for Clash with Kenzie. We have comedian Aziz Ansari tickets to give away. Just loaded with stuff for you today, entertainment-wise. Now, we just did sports. I mentioned Bulls Fest is coming back, and we're going to compete in a 3-on-3 tournament against 8-year-olds. Hey, we're all at the same level. So that's all. Just go to ChicagoBulls.com for the information about Bulls Fest that's coming up in August. Kenzie described her basketball abilities where she runs toward the hoop and then stops and then wiggles and then jumps.
I got to just wiggle, kind of like a squirrel getting ready to jump.
Yeah, I couldn't think of the song, and I said like wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. I know that part of the song. I know the song. I just didn't know who did it.
I go, it's Wiggle by Jason Derulo.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to find, it turns out. Actually, Tim from Joliet
That
checked in with
song
that.
called?
Tim from Joliet said that was his jam 10 years ago.
Oh.
Yes, the Jason Derulo Wiggle song featuring Snoop. So this is Kenzie playing basketball.
You know what to do with that big fat butt. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle.
Right before I shoot.
This video is awesome.
Oh, you want to describe it? I'm admittedly unfamiliar with Jason Derulo's Wiggle. You
Well-
want to describe the video for me?
I think we should turn the volume down and wiggle. You don't know what's next.
I'm not sure. Well, Snoop's in the video, so I don't know what's going to come next, so I turned it off.
Okay.
Good.
Thank God.
I'm watching it with the sound off. Well, they're by a pool,
That's cool.
and all the girls in the video are wiggling.
Oh, like the song says.
Yeah.
Well, it's art.
It is artistic.
Well, it's subtle.
The casting was fantastic.
I heard REM actually wrote it for
Yeah.
the Ghost Road.
There's a wiggle demo out there with REM somewhere.
Mike Mills does vocals on it. It wasn't a Michael Stipe song.
Watch the video for yourself on your own time. You won't be sorry.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
You can't defeat her. She's too powerful.
Clash with Kenzie.
Let the battle begin.
Q101.
Let's do this. We have comedian Aziz Ansari tickets, 2 shows, Chicago Theater this weekend, and we're sending to the Sunday show, March 9th. Few tickets left for that one if you want to buy them. Great friends Live Nation help us out with that as usual. But how about free ones for Matt checking in? Matt, ahoy. Tell us something about yourself.
Ahoy. Always lived outside Chicago from Des Plaines now, and
Whoop, whoop.
currently training for a marathon.
Oh my gosh. You're training for a marathon? Why?
Well, my fiance did one last year, and she said she was going to do one with me this year, and then she bailed, and now I got to stick to it just to prove a point.
Oh my God.
Good Lord.
A marathon out of spite is not a good idea.
It's a long, revenge
It's
plan.
a lot of spite. It's a lot of spite that I'm feeling. I don't think she's going to feel any of that spite.
I mean, you know what you do out of spite? You leave the cap off the toothpaste.
Yeah.
You don't run 26.2 miles.
Yeah, I'm starting to rethink that now.
Rethink it. Get back to us later. Let us know what happens. First one to 5 wins. Listen carefully here. If Kenzie gets one wrong, you can steal a point. She can do the same to you. Matt, call heads or tails.
And
Yeah, it's tails.
That's tough.
That's a tough one. Kenzie, you're up. Here we go. Question number 1, Kenzie. What is the name of the piece of material worn over the head and shoulders, usually worn by a bride?
Oh my God. I thought that was going to end with knight, not bride. You mean like a veil?
A veil is correct.
Very wordy, huh?
Yeah, see, Matt, that would have been your question. Matt, this one's yours instead. What type of substance is limestone?
it's a substance. Like a mineral?
It's not a mineral. Oh, you're gonna give it to him, Case, on that?
I'm gonna throw the red challenge flag here because he might be right. I might have underthought this.
Well,
You know what? I'm gonna count mineral. That's fair.
Okay, wow.
We were looking for rock, but rocks are minerals.
Do you know how many hate texts Case would have got? They would say, we're looking for a rock.
It's just gonna make my day easier if I give him the point.
Yeah.
I was looking for rock.
Yeah, there you go.
So I'm gonna get ahead of it.
I
Nobody
think
needs
mineral
to text
works.
in. Mineral works.
Okay, there we go.
Oh my God, that's so funny. Yeah, I like how Brian blindly follows what's in front of him too. It goes, it says rock. You're wrong.
Hey, I'm not changing. These are the questions that are handed to me. They've gone through a rigorous process to get here.
Obviously.
Not that one though. The other ones went through a rigorous process.
I'm the game show host. I host it. If the questions are wrong, it's on the people that hand me the piece of paper. I don't
is
do
me.
anything with the questions, which is Case. Case corrected himself, and there you go.
I'm gonna get out ahead of that one. We're gonna count mineral. It's gonna be okay. It's 1-1, and it's back to Kenzie.
Okay, Kenzie. What year did Christopher Columbus first reach the Americas?
Oh.
I don't like that answer. Ow.
Isn't there a song about that?
There is a
Like,
song
kid
about it.
It's called Wiggle Wiggle Wiggle.
Wiggle, wiggle. Sail the blue. 1492.
1492 is
Sing the
right.
song. I had to sing the song.
Just before the buzzer.
Sail the ocean.
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Back to Matt.
That's right.
Matt, the man in the yellow hat is the companion of what famous children's literature character?
Curious George.
Curious George is right. We got a 2-2 ball game.
Ooh.
Let's stay in that world, Kenzie. On Sesame Street, which 2 characters live in an apartment at 123 Sesame Street? Which 2 characters?
God, I don't watch Sesame Street.
Got to catch up on
It'd be
it.
amazing if you did. Like right now, you're an adult.
Is that I don't even know. I feel like it's not Sesame Street, so it's so embarrassed. Is it Bert and Ernie?
Yeah, that's Bert and Ernie.
Is it? Okay.
What do you think?
God.
Do you think they were not Sesame Street?
I was questioning if they were.
Yeah,
It kind of,
If they were on South Park or what?
kind of. I just
on
remember because I'm like,
Clybourne.
well, because then I was like, well, maybe it's Elmo. I got nervous. Sorry.
Yeah. Bert and Ernie, classics, by the way.
Love 'em.
Love Sesame
Classic.
Street. Back to Matt.
Yep, 3-2.
Matt, which car manufacturer produces the Civic?
Honda.
Honda is right. 3-3. Back to Kenzie. Kenzie, what does RPM stand for in automotive context? RPM.
I thought you were going to say the restaurants that we have here.
Very good steak and seafood places there in Chicago.
Yeah, love them.
Mm-hmm.
RPM.
RPM. Give me a guess.
I'm going to say revs per Mile.
Revs per mile is not right. Matt can go ahead here.
Revolutions per minute.
Revolutions per minute. You weren't far off, but
Okay.
revolutions per minute. And then Matt can win with this?
That's right, 4-3, and it's back to Matt.
Ooh.
Matt, which legendary skateboarder took gaming to new heights with a series bearing his name?
Ooh. That's too easy. Tony Hawk.
Tony Hawk is right, and you are the winner today. Congratulations. Also, did we get a new word on Tony Hawk's skateboarder, the new version of his video game coming out, I think, in July? Is that right, Case?
They are remastering Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4, and I believe it came out today that is coming out in July.
That's awesome. There you go. And you are also going to see comedian Aziz Ansari at the Chicago Theater this Sunday, Matt. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And you can run there if you want.
I think I'll take the trainer car.
Sounds like a better odds there. We'll have more tickets coming up tomorrow in Clash with Kenzie.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
Brian Kenzie, Q101. So I played this piece of audio for Kenzie and Case, and they don't know what it is. I do. And I said, guess what you think is going on here. And here's that audio.
There you go, look.
We done.
Get the worries back in van.
We're done.
Go on.
We're done.
Go on.
Kenzie, what'd you say you thought was going on there?
I thought she was carrying like a cake across, like one of those big cakes, like a couple tier cakes, like across the street. And he almost hit her with the car. And then he got out and they start yelling at each other about who's wrong. Like, how dare you almost hit me? And, like, I have a cake. Go on. And he's like, bitch, it was my turn to drive. You shouldn't be walking. Like, that's kind of the vibe I got.
Yeah, it was a really vivid imagination there.
That's what I saw in my head.
And so, Case, you said you thought what was going on there?
That the GPS was telling them to drive into a lake and that they were arguing about what direction to go.
There you go, look.
We done.
Get the worries back in van.
We're done.
Go on.
We're done.
Go on.
Okay, so heavy English accent there. What is happening there? And I'll play the entire audio and I'll explain why that one word sounds like a swear word with that English word. It's not. She's saying back, not. It sounds like the F word there, but she's saying back the way the accent in the argument happens there.
Yeah, like back up the car. We're about to drive into a lake.
Right. It's not
Back
that.
up off me and my cake.
Sorry, you're both wrong on this one. It's much simpler and as old as time. A woman caught her husband cheating in the back of a van and then posted it on social media. But the problem here is, or the, the uncomfortable part is, she opens the back of the van. He's cheating on her. He's basically Winnie the Poohing it. He's got a shirt on and no pants.
Ew.
It is correct answer, Kenzie. Ew. It's a terrible look. And she keeps filming, and he's just sitting there with his pants off and not stopping while she's just screaming at him the whole time.
What do you mean not stopping? Like he's doing the thing?
Well, he stopped the thing.
Oh, okay.
But I'd put my pants on right away if I were him. In the middle of the yelling. He had time to put the pants on in her whole, 30-second rant against him here. Which I'll play right now, actually. So you want to hear the whole thing. Here's what happens.
I do want to hear the whole
So
thing.
the van door opens. It's sad, too, because they've been married 17 years. They have 4 kids. And the kids, I believe, are in the car when the wife gets out and
In
opens
the
the van.
van?
Not in the van.
Jeez.
They're not in the van.
Oh, my God.
They're in the car with the mom.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if they see Dad winning the pooing it because he can't see the kids in the situation. So here's the entire audio.
There you go, look.
We done.
Get the worries back in van.
We're done.
Go on.
We're done.
Go on.
We're done.
Enjoy it. You watch this going all over Facebooks in the back of his dad's van. Cheating on me, his wife for 17 years, but last New Year with some bag.
No, it's not all right.
No, go on, carry on. You want a show, you can have a show.
All right, so it's over.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
What's over? You and her? This is going on Facebook. You watch.
Put the phone on.
No.
You've got
no.
the phone.
No. No.
The kids are in that car.
So, yeah, exactly. Your kids are in that car. Our kids are in that car.
Can you just put the phone away,
No.
please?
You need to pull your pants up.
She's right. He needs to pull his pants up immediately.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We do have to pour one out this morning.
How do I say goodbye?
And this one will hit super deep for some of you out there. I wouldn't say everybody, but some of you out there. And I know this hits Kenzie pretty hard.
Oh, my God. What are you going to say?
Pouring one out this morning for Red Robin. Now, Red Robin is closing.
I just...
Just compose yourself for a second.
No.
It's
Compose
like you punched
yourself.
her in the stomach.
Let me get out.
It's, just, it's so...
I understand.
It's so ridiculous. I've just had enough of the personal attacks.
Okay, just compose yourself while I lay out what's going on here. Red Robin Restaurants 70 underperforming locations to repay debt. So Red Robin, the chain of delicious burgers, and they're known for the bottomless fries. That's what they've always been known for, where you can just keep reloading your fries all day. I mean, I think at some point they must say go home, but I don't know. It's never happened to me.
They don't, because my husband gets about at least 5 baskets every time.
So they have debt in 2024. Their revenues were $1.25 billion. That's a decrease of $54.5 billion when compared to the year before. It doesn't sound that bad.
Wait,
I know.
Red Robin made $1 billion?
Yes.
I was a huge part of that. We spent a lot of money there.
So the net loss was $77 million. But again, by today's standards, we hear people losing, like Spotify, I think for a while lost $1 billion a quarter, and they stayed operating. Red Robin's like going to close down. So they have 498 restaurants in the U.S. as of the end of 2024, and some are franchised and some are corporate owned. I've been to the one in the North Burbs. I don't know if it's in Glenview or Niles or Skokie, somewhere around there. It's been a minute, so I'm the problem. Kenzie's family, obviously not the problem because they're funding
Not the problem.
They're keeping it going. And I will say the burgers were fantastic and the bottomless fries.
Yeah.
It's just a nice option to say, I'd like kind of a few more fries.
Their onion rings are great too. I always upgrade to onion rings, which are not bottomless, so I'm not part of the problem before anybody points a finger.
Yes,
and
you
says,
are.
Well, you weren't getting so many damn fries. Onion rings, upcharge, not bottomless. Okay, so don't talk about it. I'm actually really helping.
I will say it always made me feel rich when I could ask for more fries and they'd bring some for free to me.
But it's free.
I understand, but it made me feel like I was special. Like, I'll give you more fries. Go ahead. We know who you are.
You have a weird ego thing, like that you constantly need to feed.
That one is really weird.
I'm saying anybody could feel that way in Red Robin because when you ask for more fries, they take care of you. Like, oh yes, Mr. Thompson. Here's more fries for you, sir. Anything else?
Who's Thompson?
Yes,
What is
Mr.
wrong with
Thompson.
you?
Some champagne or caviar for you today as well.
Wait, who's Mr. Thompson?
Why didn't you use your own last name as an example?
Because I use Mr. Thompson when I go out.
I don't check into a hotel.
I don't keep my real last name out there. What are you talking about? So pouring one out for Red Robin. And which one do you go to, Kenzie? Do you mind saying which location?
The South Elgin one.
South Elgin. Boom.
Yeah, there's one near me. We go all the time because it really is like my son Tristan's favorite restaurant. Obviously, good family environment. We have, 2 young ones that we're bringing in. Tristan does get in trouble if he pops the balloon in the car, though. He's had to learn that the hard way because I hate popping balloons, especially when I'm driving.
Oh, now I'm the weird one.
I think a gut is going on. I swerve off the road. So he had to learn that one the hard way. He went on a no balloon kick for a little bit. But besides that, it's always been delightful.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't say which ones will close, so that all the ones in Chicago could stay open. I was right. It was one I was thinking of was in Skokie that I would go to now and then. But it's been a minute, so I think I should go help out and support, like Hooters and other places that are having trouble. Which one's first?
I mean, Hooters is leave Hooters, let it die. But I think that Red Robin.
I will not do that as a good American.
Red Robin has genuinely good burgers. They have a campfire sauce, which is awesome. If you go, just ask for the campfire sauce. It's really good. I dip my onion rings in it. They got some good food. They also have an avocado salad, and it's my husband's favorite salad. It's adorable.
That is
avocado.
adorable.
And it's really good.
That caught me off guard.
It's so cute.
Oh, boy.
And we get that quite often. Their shakes are delicious. It's a one-stop shop for happiness. Everyone's being a hater.
Yeah, I hope listen, I don't know if people are hating on it or not. I think the revenues sound not that bad. I think they recover pretty nicely with $1 billion revenue and having a $77 million loss.
Yeah. So, okay, I just want to make sure I understood you correctly. They made $1 billion last year?
Total revenues were $1.25 billion, but when you add up all the costs, they had a net loss of $77.5 million.
Oh, they're fine. They're fine.
Look at you counting their money.
Well, God forbid the Red Robin CEO doesn't buy another yacht this year. I think they'll be okay. I'm trying to
leave
keep
people
Kenzie
alone.
fed. Good Lord.
He might live in a ranch house.
You think the owner of Red Robin lives in a humble ranch house?
Who owns Red Robin?
Let's
look
find
that.
out.
You know,
Sure
when we come back,
some big game hunter.
we're up against
because you're
it.
going to ruin it for me.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101. Some Tom Papa tickets coming up. Very funny dude at Chicago Theater at the end of music and entertainment news. We have a lot to get to, including what really happened to Gene Hackman. But First, we did talk Oscars yesterday a whole bunch, and Case, now a movie guy, because of the feature every Friday at 8 o'clock, where maybe you haven't, just tuned into the show. Hopefully, we love our new listeners when people tell somebody about the show and they jump in. Case is 26 years old, and he hadn't seen really many movies at all, except for Boys in the Hood and Norbit.
Those were pretty much the big two.
Those were the big two. And about a year ago, in fact, to this week is to the day, right?
1 year ago this week, I watched Braveheart, which kicked off a year's worth of watching movies.
Incredible.
Freedom!
Yeah.
So good.
Thanks,
do
Kenzie.
I felt like I was there, Kenzie. Do it
I know,
again.
you're welcome.
Do it again.
Freedom! You're welcome.
How did you not get that audition? How did you not win that role?
I know, my hair wasn't long enough.
So with the Oscars, he actually watched it, and we played some of the best moments from Conan, of course, and the movie. Nora won Best Picture and won all the awards, pretty much. Now, Case watched it yesterday afternoon instead of maybe taking a nap or catching up on chores. I don't know.
Catching up on chores?
No, what? He doesn't have any chores.
Everybody's got chores. There's
Not
no one.
him.
You have no chores.
I kick back. I kick it.
So you live in like a hoarder's paradise or something? Because there's just dishes stacked up to the
think
ceiling.
about it. He goes and buys food, so like he's not like cooking and grocery shopping, and then he keeps the food in the container he initially gets it in, so there's not like dirty Tupperware or anything to clean afterwards. He uses lots of paper plates and disposable silverware. I would imagine his girlfriend picks up a lot of the laundry slack. I just don't see a bunch of chores needed to get done.
Is she accurate?
That's pretty much my life.
I nailed it.
I was going to give you a chance to defend yourself against those accusations, but go ahead. Never
Why
mind.
bother?
What
No.
do you mean he's living my dream? No accusations. Go
so-
off, King.
So was that movie, Nora, was it worth it? Was it worth that, and was it worth all the awards?
Honora's awesome.
Oh, okay.
I would recommend everybody watch this movie. Don't watch it with your kids. If you're under 16, don't watch this movie at all. It's not a family-friendly movie by any means. It's actually quite sexually graphic in a lot of different sections of the movie.
I can tell by your
Older
passion.
than 16 then. Maybe adult.
Maybe adult, but kids, whatever.
You're not judging anybody.
Yeah, come on now. It's a story in which a stripper meets the son of a Russian oligarch. So it's like this.
What's an
loaded-
Olive Garden? Because I thought everyone was saying Olive Garden for a long time.
Well, it's not an Olive Garden. It's an oligarch.
What is it?
Oligarch.
What is an? That's what I said. Olive Garden. What'd you say?
You said Olive Garden.
Olive Garden. That's what you said.
No. Oligarch.
Well, I'm hearing the same effing thing. Like, Olive Garden.
Hold on. Let me
What
do
is
this.
this, a prank?
Wait, hold on. No. Let's slow down here. Oligarch. There's no V. It's not Olive Garden.
Okay. Oh, God, it's like a trick.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You say it.
Oligarch.
Now it's oligarch.
I just dropped the V.
Yeah, you dropped the V. That's good.
You added an accent over it too.
Oligarch.
An oligarch is usually a very rich, powerful person, not in politics, but they have political influence. They over a country or a situation. An oligarch.
So it's just
Olive
a guy
Garden
who,
has breadsticks unlimited.
I thought it was like a rich franchisor.
No. I mean, it's a rich person, but not a franchiseer.
So he influences the government and doesn't work for them?
Correct. Because of all his money, he buys his way into.
But how did he get it? The Olive Gardens?
Yes, he had all the Olive Gardens, and that's how he became an oligarch.
Oh my God. I've never heard that word before.
I wonder if the person that owns all the Olive Gardens insists on being called an oligarch.
An oligarch.
I hope they do.
Anyway, Case, back to your review of the oligarch. What happened with him?
So
At a stripper?
Mikey Madison plays a stripper who meets a Russian oligarch, the son of a Russian oligarch. This kid has all this money. He's initially paying her for all these services, but it turns out they really like each other. He has to go back to Russia, or so he thinks. They get married, so they have a green card marriage. She thinks it's going to last. She thinks he's going to change her life. And then his parents find out about the marriage, and that's really where the movie kicks off. It is so deeply funny at times. It is so deeply disturbing at times. There's some really dark scenes in this movie. All in all, I can't believe it won Best Picture because it's a really odd movie. The ending is very, very dark. It is not one of those movies with a feel-good ending. I won't say what it is, but man, it was worth my time. 2 hours and 20 minutes well spent. I loved it. I thought it was great.
What is the family killer or something?
I'm not going to say.
I will say Nate checked in on the text line. He said, I rented it on Apple TV and told my 18-year-old daughter that I rented the movie that won so many awards. I was mortified from the pornography in it.
Yeah, no, first few minutes of the movie, Mikey Madison doesn't hide much.
She is beautiful.
She's a looker. I like her.
Because just like a supercut of her in that movie has come across my timeline, and I was curious about the movie, so I watched it, and boy, yeah, she's almost naked in the whole movie.
She is. I'll tell you what, Brian, she's naked in a few scenes.
Oh, I only saw the almost naked.
She gets there.
All right.
Okay.
That's good.
So I point 619 texted in and said Greek oligarchs are referred to as oligarchs.
Because they have olives in Greece?
I don't know. That's what he said.
I think you might be joking.
Oh, come on.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.